Hello there, Nick Davis here, and returning with my next White Dwarf retrospective for White Dwarf 243 March 2000. This is the Warmaster edition. Yes, this is a release of Warmaster. This is going to be funky and a lot of fun to look through because those Warmaster toy soldiers were really beautiful. This is the March edition done in March 2000, which basically it was the last issue we put to bed before breaking for the holidays. For the year 2000. Fun little story, when we returned from the holidays, White Dwarf had moved from their bunker just by games development to a new bunker that was closer to the studio's gaming tables, and they didn't tell me, and I actually kind of forgot what date we were going back. I misjudged the dates and came back a date later than I should have done for the Christmas break. Got a little bit of a talking to her about it. I said, I'm sorry, I just miscalculated dates. And found out basically all my White Dwarf stuff was in a very different area of the studio. Kind of fun. Also kind of a bit of a weird mix-up. But that's just the way things are occasionally. And it's actually all on me forgetting the actual date of the... well, what can I say? The date of the Christmas break return. I think we returned on January 5th, and I stayed out to January 7th, thinking the return was a Monday and not a Thursday the week before. But that's on me, and that's how it goes. So the White Dwarf moved to a new bunker section, and literally was more of a bunker section. We had like walls around us and that sort of thing. I was given a new area to work in, and it was very interesting. New developments were coming along for the magazine. Me and Paul had basically stopped bumping heads over the disagreement over the colour text I wrote for the Stormtroopers back in White Dwarf 241, and things have pretty much returned to normal. Although I had met a girl online, and that was about to change my life absolutely completely. But at the time, it was Christmas, and I wasn't thinking about it. But by the time we get to end of January, my life had completely changed. But that's going to be the teaser I'm going to leave you on as we crack open the cover for White Dwarf 243 and take a look at what's going on in this Warmaster release issue. So here we go, everybody. Okay, let's see if it gets nice and centered for you so you can see it nice and big. There we go, let's get it right. There we go, that's about as straight as I can make it for you looking at the reverse camera. First off, we've got the cover there. It's the Warmaster cover of the Warmaster box set by Jeff Taylor. Absolutely beautiful piece of art. We've got the usual White Dwarf calling sections here. We have the Warmaster, which is basically we could talk about the release of this new game, Warhammer 40K's. It's actually shrunk a little bit here. Warhammer's got a couple extra articles, and I think this is the last issue Mordheim actually appears in before it goes over to the Fanatic Press Town Cryer magazine. We're going to take a look at the Games Day, Vengeance of the Vampire, massive diorama, Orcs in Mordheim, the Imperial Sentinels, obviously the Warmaster stuff, and the usual components there. Production team for this magazine was Paul Sawyer, Graham Davey, Nick Davis, Matt Hudson, Simon Schuker, and John Michaelback. I have no memory of John Michaelback though, so I do apologise if I can't actually remember what you did in the magazine. That's on me. Contributors are Rick Priestley, Gavin Thorpe, Thomas Perrin, Nigel Stillman, Mark Havanen, Andy Shepard, Michael Perry, Ali Morrison, Alessio Cavatore, Dylan Owen, Andy Foster, Matthew Fletcher, JB, and Tracy Coulter. JB and Tracy Coulter are two basic fine folk from the Canadian Games Workshop. Artwork by John Blanche, Dave Gallagher, Alex Boyd, Neil Hudson, Nuala Kennedy, and Carl Komisky and John Wrigley. Every metal team at this time was Owen Branham, Martin Foote, Mark Jones, Keith Robinson, Neil Green, Robert Beck, Dave Thomas, Joe Hill, and Chris Smart. Wow, I managed to basically read all the minutiae without actually having to change my glasses. I think my eyes might actually be getting better. So let's see what's going over to another page and see what cuts these. First section, of course, is the huge news section. We talk about the new releases. Fat Block Editor is talking about a Warhammer at a whole new scale at Warmaster. We'll talk to that when we get to it, about American Games Day. Basically the GW Canadian table that basically was found there, and we talk a little bit about Games Day UK in this magazine as well. Sentinels released in this issue here. This is the fantastic plastic Sentinel. We finally got away from the eggs on legs, and we've got the Warmaster model. First look at the Warmaster models here. So what we like about Warmaster, the actual toy soldiers were beautifully done. Okay, and green skins are actually appearing in Mordheim, so you can put your Orc warbands in Mordheim. Fantastic. Town Cryer Takeover, this is talking about the Town Cryer basically returning to Use my words, Nick. Returning to Fnatic Press as a full-on magazine. Next issue is Codex Space Wolves as release. We're talking about the staff tournament. It's just a Warhammer staff tournament, I believe, the international staff tournament, Warhammer. Yes, yeah, it is. So this is the Warhammer one. Actually, proof that basically Paul so I did actually play Mordheim. I have no memory of ever playing Mordheim, but that's where it is, just there. And let's keep going. Last page is talking about Black Library releases. The Ghosts are back. Next week's Ghost. The Jericho comic called Jericho the Necromund Bounty Hunter was here as well. And a new look to Infernos. Now it's new, bigger, and fatter than ever before. New releases are here. And the first page picture of the Jeff Taylor beautiful artwork for Warmaster. And we're going to turn the page and dive straight into it. Now the basic concept of Warmaster is it's epic for Warhammer. But that's probably the wrong way to really describe what it is, but it gives you a basic idea. Basically, these are large-scale, small toy soldier games. Very reminiscent of historical gaming at that time. I think actually I laid out the entire Warmaster section, I think, but I think it did. And that's basically, Rick Priestley that's basically talking about its new release. This was the game that was supposed to come out, but was replaced by Gorka Morka. So who knows if it basically would have moved the dial a bit differently than Gorka Morka did. It certainly was a special baby of Rick. Here we finally got, because he has a love for historical wargaming. It's basically all these small 6mm historical wargaming, and these toy soldiers are basically the same sort of thing. I do think these are wonderfully detailed for what they are. They are very much the full size 28mm 1-inch tall toy soldiers of Warhammer at a very different scale. They look wonderful. I love these toy soldiers. I think I played 3 games with Warmaster. I never collected an army because I just doing too many other things at the time, but I loved every single game and it was a lot of fun to play. Plus you've got these really, look at that fantastic little dragon there. Basically it's a high elf dragon lord, but it's a fantastic looking dragon. It just looks really nice. It was just really well done and really thought out. The toy soldiers are really beautiful. I think this could actually basically move the needle more than Gorka Morka did, but I will say that Gorka Morka did help basically bring the orcs back to what they were supposed to be, which were basically beautifully cunning and cunningly brutal. So this is basically an article by Rick Priestley talking about basically why Warmaster is what it is, what makes it special, and why it's warfare at a different scale. Now we are Legion. We talk about we actually feature and look at the undead in Warmaster. These are the undead toy soldiers. I would say these are all beautifully done. I actually really do think they really are nice toy soldiers for 6mm. Now, if you've done historical 6mm wargaming, you actually will understand why I'm basically saying these are really nice. Some beautiful, great detail, well done, well put together, well thought out toy soldiers. They got the undead monsters here. Look at that Sphinx. That's fantastic. And that zombie dragon. Yay! And basically, we're basically talking about what the undead army is special. We have a bone giant there as well, which is basically the only time I think we see a bone giant before. Basically, we started casting in plastic and resin. So that's really nicely done there too. It's just really, again, I can't say how good these are. Reaching first base, we're talking about basically how to base up your Warmaster toy soldiers. I think the special flat bases at this time, and we're showing some of the Empire toy soldier, Empire Warmaster figures, the High Elves and the is that dwarfs? That's dwarfs there, and obviously the undead, which were the big main release set. They just really were well done. Heroes of Youthon, I can never get that right. But basically the High Elf Warriors, again, strikingly nice toy soldiers. This is really what's epic as for Warhammer, but done in a really nice way. The rule system is really cool. You get these really fun things like the High Elf Wizard on basically casting an element, cloud spell, and that sort of thing. I liked it. I can't say enough good things about it. This was a beautiful toy soldier game. And look at that dragon, really cool. And those eagles as well. Plus, great crossovers to basically eagles you want to put on your 28mm toy soldiers if they want to hold an eagle. It's a High Elf General on a giant eagle there? I think so, yes. It's just really nicely done. We've got these small images here. It's just really thought out, nicely presented war game. And of course, Warmaster led by Commence, the two main factions, the dark elves. Listen to me, the elves, high elves versus the undead in that little faction picture there. Look at that tiny little epic scene. It's just nice. It was nice. Imperial Guard Sentinels, an article I can confirm that I completely laid out and took all the pictures for. Basically, the Imperial Guard Sentinels there with the sword blades and weapons. The standard Imperial Guard weapon schemes you see here, as well with Codex woodland patterns with Dark Angel green and grey Chaos black. We started putting the colours in to give you an idea how to do it, and some Codex camouflage schemes there, and of course the obligatory, I think that was a John Wigley piece of artwork. And basically and some copy written by me, basically, my Sentinels. Just so this was partially taken from the book, partially taken from some older codexes, and basically it's all summed together to give you a nice little description of what Sentinels are and why they're so special. I love these little walkers, especially when they moved from the eggs to the legs to these sort of builds. They became very, very useful. Multi-laser carriers, and they can roll up a flank very easily, very, very easily. Then basically we've got some nice little conventions here. Great Sentinel attack by Roland Cox, nice little conversion. I like that. Codex Ice World pattern, that's a very cold Valhalla in there. I think they get a special actual enclosed Sentinel in the near future when we basically when the Valhallans get revisited, which looks very nice. And of course my standard Codex Grey Sentinel, this is part of the 95th Cadian Combined Rifles. That's basically part of my huge army at that time, and this little missile launcher which basically was the Hunter Killer, but the big Hunter Killer I thought looked very silly, so I used the Space Marine launcher there, and that's actually really nicely done there as well. So I painted these really nice. I think it's almost on the top of my painting game at this point. Vengeance of the Warhammer of the Vampire was the Games Day 1999 mega display. As you all know, all the mega displays at the Games Days, I'm pretty certain this tradition still continues even today. Basically, huge dioramas showing lots of funky things for you to look at and take pictures of. The Vengeance of the Vampire is a really nice mega display, and it looks really cool. I don't know if it's still around, but it's really nicely done. Lots of conversions, lots of special toy soldiers, a huge group effort by the GW Retail, and it came together really nicely. Look at that! There's just everywhere you look, there's a story going on in here, like the Imperial Engineer up there, the Gatling gun, and all kinds of crazy stuff. So it's stories going on all over the place in this. I think it's really nice diorama. Lots of real fun things to look at. Even the buildings are looking really cool and that's done as well. Look, there's a ship floundering at the rocks there. I don't remember that bit at all. But look at that! It's just well. Fights, battles. This reminds me a lot of the old Warhammer 3rd edition photography, actually, on truth, where they basically cover the bases up all the time with basically flock and that sort of thing. So it's sort of reminded me a little bit of Warhammer 3rd edition photography, a little bit of 2nd edition photography as well. It's for the Warhammer Siege book, I think. So this is reminding me of. Oh, you still got the flyers in there. What are the flyers? Games Workshop Independent Stockist sale from 19th to the 26th of February 2000. Wow. And grand opening days for Lisbon, Northampton, Stockholm, and Nijima? Oh Christ, I'm crap at names, I really am. My Duolingo scores suck. Let's put us over there for now. We're straight into the retail section. Look, Games Workshop Japan. Fantastic. I was friends with the Japanese translation department. One of the guys actually was working far too hard and actually collapsed at work, and I had to take him to hospital. Guy weighed a ton. He's solid, absolute muscle. Bloody hell. The Goddess Catchings, the Siren Song by Garth Thorpe. Yet again, we are showing the grand old White Dwarf tradition of basically putting black text over a background that should have been a lot more transparent than it actually was. And the text gets ate by the background, making it really hard to read. But this is a Catchigan story about, I didn't read the story and I can't remember it for now, but I'm pretty certain I laid this out. And impenetrably to read on impenetrable jungles. So how about that? That's fantastic. Go me. Look at that. Who puts an image in the middle of a freaking text flow? Good lord, what was I thinking? See, that's better down in the corners there, but why we put images in here, I have no idea. I guess we had to make up some space. But look, it's virtually unreadable. We should have really pushed this back about another 10-20% so you can actually read the text. But that's a nice little filler there for talking about Catchigans, and it's still going. Oh my god, the further we get to it, the darker we get. We should have really backed back on the... oh my god, the cyan is just eating the page. And then we go into Games Day 99. I remember this Games Day. I remember it because I was backed against a wall at one point with a Sharpie just frantically signing White Dwarfs. This was my last Games Day in the UK. A lot of fun, part of the White Dwarf crew. We were basically doing the jet... Oh, there I am. we're doing the jet bike rolling road game. I'm just there. Look at that. No facial hair. Look at me. Oh my god, so young. And it was a fun time. I really did enjoy myself. And these shirts are really cool too. Oh no, I can't remember what happened to my shirt though. I might have sold it. Might have basically left it in the UK. I do not know. But that was basically, some stuff that's going on. Great photography, showing some of the staff. Andy Sheffield partnership was talking about how awesome the internet website. Look at it, internet from the website of all places. Can you believe that? And this basically how we basically about the games day, and it was really a nice event. It's the first event I basically participated in as a known personality in White Dwarf. Before that, I actually was working as a bodyguard for Mike McVeigh, or carrying the Golden Demon sword around. So I was a big chap with large shoulders. So. Then we go into the Town Cryer. I think it's the last time the Town Cryer appears in White Dwarf. I have not took a look at 244 to confirm that, but I'm sure we will when we get to there. Again, Town Cryer was basically made and laid out by Matt Hudson to basically look like a typical news sheet of that time period. Really nicely done. Matt Hudson really knocked it out of the park with this. Rightfully, the editor speaks, talking about basically the transition from basically Town Cryer in White Dwarf to Town Cryer the Fanatic magazine. The contents is talking about Kidnap, which is a special scenario. And then we basically go to the Nobles, talking about the Orcs who are appearing as warbands. Straight, every faction could get into Mordheim, and you just had a lot of fun. It's probably why Mordheim was so successful, because you just didn't need many toy soldiers, and you could literally bring your toy soldiers that you had into the game. So that's the Orc warbands in there. Orcs example tactics and Orc tactics, which basically probably involve charging at you. I don't think I ever faced an Orc warband in Mordheim. My Middelheim has never faced anything worse than the Chaos cultists, and they were pretty easy to beat most of the time. So, Hands of Fate. This is basically a nice little Chaos cultist set. Not contact models using plastics here. Is this anything special? No, it's just basically just a fun little Chaos cult set. The Brethren, the Oath, and that kind of thing. I wonder what I'll be featuring in this one. Did somebody build this specially? Let me have a quick look. Ali Morrison. This is Ali Morrison's set. Really nicely done. Ali Morrison is a figure designer for Games Workshop. I was part of the Marauder team, if anybody ever remembers that. Blood on the Streets of Abomination. I think it's just like talking about the deranged and possessed again. Show Me the Money with Imperial Assassins and Tillian Marksman. And the basically some special mercenaries and freelancers you could hire for your bands again, so you can have basically a crossbow. And actually, I think I had a couple of those in my Middelheim gang, and the Imperial Assassin was a nice Tillian guy just there. Turbo base spread of Mordheim, and then the Warriors of the Cold Street, talking about mercenary captains and champions and that kind of thing. I gotta say, the Peregrines really knocked out the box with their various toy soldiers you could use. Really nice. This was really cool. I just liked it. Mordheim was a fun game. And I'm sure I got lots of fond memories of that game. It's one of the games I helped playtest with Thomas Perrin. Just really enjoyed the heck out of it. And also, we finished Town Cryer with the usual freelance and public notices that you'd find on a typical news sheet of that time. Hide Stores for Hires, Wanted, Cedric the Scholar, the public notices, hangings, second annual archery tournament. I actually took part in the archery tournament with Mordheim guys, and we got absolutely obliterated. That's the thing, it did happen. We talk about the Black Sword, remember that guy? He finally got shot. The Black Arrow, remember that guy? So he was knifed as well. So basically, a lot of the freelancers we killed. I think we were basically going, let's go kill all the freelancers and mercenaries we built up in the back pages of the Town Cryer Classifieds. So basically, it goes to Town Cryer Fanatic Press. They got started from the beginning. Yeah, we were mean. Look at that, Warmaster. Complete armies in a box for £50. That would be about $60 US change. And look at that, complete army. Wow, it's hard to imagine, right? Yeah, I can't imagine that being a thing now. Into the Games Workshop retail section, all done by Andy Sharman of the retail promotions there. Featured army is Coventry's Bretonians by Dave Candy. Look at that, it's a very nicely done army actually. I like the Bretonians, they're very colourful, very, very colourful. Greater London map. Oh, look at that, good lord. Does London even look like that anymore? Warmaster specials, grand openings. The big, amazing set offers all week. I think Battlefield got it was a big deal at that time. And then we have basically the Quest for the Invincible Army by Alessio Cavatore. Now I'm going to show you this beardy picture up here. See if we can get the camera proper. Let's see if I can get this right. Look at that. Yeah, we travelled halfway around Nottingham to find a big bushy beard at a costume shop for Alessio to take that picture in. It was me and Simon Schuker, I think, and we ended up basically in the back end of Nottingham, up near up in Nottingham Street. Basically, it was a lot of fun in that area. And basically, Alessio Cavalry basically built this almost invincible, beardy, overpowered army. And this, in case it is lizard men, and it looks like it's using a lot of my lizards. In honest truth, there. Actually, it's my lizard men mixed in with the studio lizard men. Oh my god, that's absolutely amazing. Okay, but actually, did anybody actually ever take part and try to beat this army list? This was 3,000 point overpowered, insane army. And basically, we're trying to make it as powerful and as invincible as you possibly could. And Alessio really basically took off the training wheels and went for it. So much so we actually did have to put my lizard men in it, because that's my lizard men riders. Oh my god, Lord Bezalex's Temple Army. Then we go into the retail section just here, and then we go to the slave raid at Melfa River, Canadian Games Day display. This was done by JB and Tracy Coulter, and this came in for us to photograph, and it's just full of wonderful little bits and pieces here. Nicely, beautiful terrain. I did the write-up for this, interviews and JB and Tracy Coulter. They're great guys. Very heavy at winding, because that's actually resin water there. And there's an overview of it. Love the Plutonian fire line over there. Dark Elder getting their butts kicked here, because that's what basically what happened to Dark Elder all the time. So we have a mixture of categories here, Praetorians, over a wonderful small, this was a 4x6 board, I believe. Lots of wonderful features on here. The entire thing had to be taken apart and packed together here, and JB and Tracy travelled over to the UK studio to basically put it back together again. Really nicely done. Great guys. Oh, Dark Angel, the Dark Angels attack. What's this in Dark Angels attack? There's no Dark Angels arrive in force. Where do Dark Angels arrive in force? Oh, just here. Here we go, on the bikes. So basically, I don't know the stories going on here all the time. Then we've got Black Library Presents, all the stuff that's coming out for Black Library at that time. Warhammer Chronicles, which is the chapter approved for Warhammer, basically giving you interesting games to play. This time we're talking about the night before the battle, how your leadership can change your games, and that's actually a nice thought. Basically, you like the whole Henry V, you walk in the camp sort of thing. Crawler Council, Consulting Omens, and that fun stuff. Fraternize for the troops. The Emperor Needs You with the Catechins. And then we have Sly Marble, the one-man army by Nick Davis. This was completely written by me. Yay! I was given complete and utter freedom to basically make up the background and the lore for Sly Marble. Yes, I had it written by Jervis Johnson, and he gave me a big thumbs up to get it done, and I got it done. So, yeah, I think this is a sort of an apology for basically laughing at my Stormtrooper colour. So I'm very happy I was actually got this. All photography by me as well. And Sly Marble is obviously a pastiche of Rambo. I don't know if he's survived into the current editions of 40k, but that's where it is. Ancient Glory, it's almost about a report between Dylan Owen, Alessio Cavatore, and Rick Priestley. Reported on by, I think, Simon did this. And it's basically showcasing the Warmaster armies. And they actually were armies as well, so that's very rare for heavy metal armies. High Elves versus Undead. And basically they had at it, and it's wonderful 3D photography. What I liked about this was basically the use of the map here and the use of the maps down here to basically show you what's going on as well. This is really nicely laid out. Look at that, that's wonderfully done. Again, I can't say enough about these 3D version maps and this sort of thing. We really were knocking out the park with these battle reports at this time. Sam Suka did a fantastic job. I think Dylan Owen was helping him out with this one as well. And basically lots of photography going on, battles going on, showing how the Warmaster system works. I cannot remember the life of me how it works, but I do know everything was measured in centimetres instead of inches. There we go. Metric is a wonderful thing. Basically the Undead won against Rick Priestley, but it was basically, Alessio did help design this game as well. I really cannot talk about how much Warmaster was a nice gaming system. I don't know whatever happened to it, whether it died a death, slowly shoved off into specialist games. Rick really loved the concept of basically gaming from historical 6mm gaming, and they were fun games to play. Epic battles without the slowdown of pushing like 5,000 minutes to points on the Warhammer table and pushing them around. So it really worked. So Warmaster gives us a meta Warmaster warfare on a whole new scale. And then we have the basically the sections here. The great thing about this was I think Anthony Bath was taking the photography for me here, and I was basically dictating to him how to do these photographs for these units for me, how we were supposed to photograph them, how you're supposed to see the corner here and the top miniature there as much as you can, and put them at a slight 45-degree angle to the camera with a 15-degree down slot. So basically you can put them together like that. And then basically just Warmaster and High Elves will release for this one here. Yep, so I think we've got Empire and Dwarves to come yet. Advanced Order, the Codex Wolves, the Codex Battle Report, the Wolves Battle Force set. Then we've got the Imperial Guard stuff coming up here, Imperial Guard Codex. I just basically, when I did the mail sections, I just loaded these up with toy soldiers so you can just circle them with a big marker and have lots of fun. Mordheim, basically the Possessed and the Hired Sword stuff, which is really nice. The Orcs, and also black background. That actually worked really well. We should do more of that. And also basically Militia and the Fnatic Press stuff. And the final picture here is a huge battle of High Elves versus the... Let's get this right into the camera. There we go. High Elves versus the Undead. What a wonderful war host and a foul undead thing. So there we go, my friends. That is White Dwarf 243. I'd like to thank you all for basically coming along on this wonderful ride with me. I know I did announce this in the on my X Twitter feed, because hey, you know, it's just basically I wasn't sure I was going to get it out of the way. Thank you for basically coming through my White Dwarf commentary for White Dwarf number. I think I've only got 8 left before I leave the company. Oh my gosh, that is insane to think that. Anyway, I also picked up White Dwarf 500 this time as well, and I've got to say that's a really neat looking magazine. 500 issues of White Dwarf. I'm very happy to be part of that history. I think I calculated I did like, with all my contributions to White Dwarf, I have appearances and contributions to over 60 White Dwarf magazines, which isn't bad for a small kid from Melton Mowbray. Well, actually, a kid from Melton Mowbray, I was never small. So there we go. Again, if you want to help me do more White Dwarf retrospectives or gaming lookbacks, please drop a coin on my Patreon. If you want to basically support my comic book writing career, which is starting to really gain some momentum, please pick up one of my books, especially Let's Hunt Monsters. I think you all will enjoy the throwbacks to 2000 AD, DR and Clinchy, Ace Trucking, and of course Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that all appear in influences on that magazine. Links will be available below, of course, and until next time, you all take care, and bye!